Do the 49ers stand a chance against the Chiefs, and is Kyle Shanahan actually doing a good job this season? We will answer those questions and more next on the Cohn Zone. Hello, welcome to the Cohn Zone presented by the Sleeper app. That's Lowell Cohn. I'm Grant Cohn. It's a big freaking week. The Niners play the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday. Dad, do the 49ers stand a chance? They've never beaten Patrick Mahomes.
Yes, they stand a chance. How much of a chance is something that we can debate. I would say not much of a chance, but sure, they stand a chance. As I've said, every weekend is a different universe. There may be things they know about the Chiefs that we don't know. The Chiefs may turn the ball over. Really strange things happen in football. But failing that, I think the Niners' chances of beating the Chiefs are about 10%.
Yeah, the Chiefs are clearly worse than they were last season. They lost Rashee Rice for the year with a knee injury, but their defense is still really, really good. And when the Niners had Christian McCaffrey against this defense in the Super Bowl, they scored 19 points in regulation. Like, they really got shut down even when they had their best player. Now they don't have their best player, and their offense is like clearly worse without him, like drastically worse without him. So I would expect, unless Kyle Shanahan has like all kind of new great ideas, which he may, I would think the Niners offense is going to struggle again in this game, and they're probably going to lose.
Well, the Chiefs are undefeated. Now they lost their running back, but what's the name of the guy they picked up off
Kareem Hunt.
He had a good game for them. And this Juju,
Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah, he had a good game for them. It seems like Andy Reid can find out what a player does well and help him do it. Kyle's not like that. Kyle doesn't care what a player does well. Can you fit into my scheme? So I'll give you some reasons. Again, the Niners, I believe, have a 10% chance to win. But I'll give you some reasons I don't think they're going to win. Andy Reid has 2 weeks to prepare for this game. He's a better coach than Kyle Shanahan. I don't care what. Look, guys, I'm going to be critical of the Niners and Shanahan today. I apologize. I know you're fans, and this is stuff you don't want to hear. Andy Reid's a better coach than Kyle Shanahan. It's demonstrable. He adjusts better. He uses his offense better. He has a better defensive coordinator, Iggy. His defensive coordinator could be a head coach. Another thing, I love Brock Purdy. I love to watch him work. Patrick Mahomes is a better quarterback. Is there anyone in the world who thinks that Brock Purdy is a better quarterback than Patrick Mahomes? It's just, he isn't. Those are a couple of reasons. Now, it's true Kyle has 11 days to prepare for Kansas City. My question would be, so what? So what?
Yeah, I mean, that defense is just so good. And without Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan has seemed kind of out of ideas. Like, the red zone issues have been well documented. They scored some touchdowns in the red zone late against the Seahawks, who are terrible. And those touchdowns seem difficult. Like the throw across the field to George Kittle, who had to lay out and get his toes in bounds. That wasn't something they could do every week. The handoff to Kyle Juszczyk, they do that once every 7 seasons. It seems like they still don't have anything that's easy for them in the red zone, and they're going against maybe the best defense they've faced all season. Them or Minnesota.
Iggy, in the Super Bowl, that defense really crushed the offensive line of the Niners. Crushed them.
Yep.
Why
they crushed them. They crushed Christian McCaffrey in that game too. Now, maybe one thing in the Niners' favor, why they stand a chance, is that this rookie, Dominic Pooney, the right guard, is the best right guard they've had since Kyle Shanahan's been here. And he's going to be blocking Chris Jones, who's the best player on the Chiefs defense, who always destroys the 49ers. I mean, he's as responsible for their wins as anyone. And now the 49ers, I'm not saying Pooney's never faced anyone as good as Chris Jones, but he gives the Niners somewhat of a chance on the right side of the offensive line.
Sure. God love him.
Yeah.
God love him.
That's one way the Niners are better than they were in the Super Bowl. But other than that, no McCaffrey, no Greenlaw. Like, they have Devondre Campbell at linebacker. Do you know how many different ways Andy Reid is going to go after that guy?
He's very clever.
Yeah. Run, screens, passes. I mean, he's going to be targeting him all game.
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Iggy. Let's say the game is close in the fourth quarter. Who gives it up in the fourth quarter?
Right.
Kyle.
Yeah.
It's Andy Reid doesn't give it up in the fourth quarter. In addition, in the fourth quarter, Mahomes could have a mediocre game. In the fourth quarter, you don't want to face him.
Mm-mm.
Just like they didn't want to face him in the Super Bowl in the overtime.
Mm-hmm.
He's, again, I want to say about Mahomes, I covered Steve Young and Joe Montana. Mahomes is at that level. I mean, I think if I perhaps were covering Kansas City as opposed to San Francisco, I might be able to make a case that Mahomes is better than Joe Montana. For me, Joe Montana is the gold standard. But I was not exposed to other quarterbacks as much. I'm not exposed to Mahomes as much. But Iggy, this kid can do things Joe couldn't do. Joe couldn't run like that.
Mm-hmm.
Joe didn't have an arm like that. Joe, again, if you ask me right now who's better, Joe or Mahomes, I'm going to say Joe. But this kid is certainly in the same paragraph.
Absolutely. And the way he won his first Super Bowl against the 49ers, he's down 10 with 6:18 left, and he scored 21 points in about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that?
Yeah. He's really something. So, yeah, I give the Niners a 10. The other thing is, Iggy, we've said it before, and I can't put my finger on it. I feel there's something wrong with the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I feel there's a malaise. There's something in that locker room that is just not feeling right to me. There's you hear all kind of, before the season started, the Niners were really a circus.
Yeah.
It was really bad. There wasn't any of that stuff going on with the Chiefs. You never hear a word. They seem like such a together outfit, Iggy.
Yeah.
And the Niners, to me, don't feel that way. Now, look, the Niners could beat them. And if the Niners beat them, fans will say, you need to apologize to the Niners. Of course not. It's not personal. I'm not saying the Niners don't deserve to win because they're bad people. If the Niners beat them, I'll say I was wrong. I'm an opinion guy. I have an opinion. I'll say I was wrong.
Here's some interesting context. The Niners are 3-3. They don't look that great. 2 years ago, they started off the season 3-3. They didn't look that great. They were struggling on offense. They traded for Christian McCaffrey that week. And they played the Chiefs week 7. Isn't that incredible? 2 years ago, they were 3-3. They played the Chiefs week 7 at home, like season on the brink. They rushed McCaffrey out there. He doesn't even know the offense. He plays about like half the game. The Niners lose. And you're thinking, you're screwed. They don't lose again the rest of the season. They run the table, and then they lose eventually in the NFC Championship game when Brock Purdy injures his elbow. So that's one thing to kind of keep in mind. If they do lose this game and McCaffrey comes back after the bye week and he's every bit as good as he was last year, the Niners conceivably could go on a run. This isn't necessarily the end of the season if they lose this game, but it's a big one.
We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Iggy, when you say McCaffrey comes back after the bye week, do you mean immediately after the bye week or at some distant point of the future?
I don't know when he's coming back, and I don't really expect him to come back and be himself really ever again. But what I guess the point I want to make is this team wasn't good before McCaffrey got here. They were kind of floundering at 3-3. Then he came here and really carried them, it seems, for a year and a half. Now he's gone, and once again, they're pretty mediocre. Maybe the team is just overrated outside of McCaffrey.
They have some really excellent players, but I understand your point. It all coalesced around him. And Iggy, he's not coming back anytime soon. Is he doing when you're not at practice? You're not allowed anymore. Is he running drills with the other players?
No.
No. So all of a sudden he's miraculously going to be back. This is going to be a long process if it ever happens.
Mhm.
May I point out one other thing? The Kansas City defense coordinator, what's his name?
Steve Spagnuolo.
Spagnuolo. Okay. Iggy, he's really good. Compare him to the one that the Niners have. This rookie who's given up 2 leads to crummy teams. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's going to be a really good defensive coordinator, but he certainly hasn't shown it yet. And after Saleh got fired, I got a lot of tweets saying they should hire Saleh and get rid of this other guy. I mean, that's another area in which the Niners don't seem to match up very well with Kansas City.
Defensive coordinator. And it's funny, the Niners seem to fire Steve Wilks almost in like a fit of rage or like in an emotional state. And then their first plan was to try to hire Spagnuolo. They made him an offer, and the Chiefs made him a better offer, and he went back to Kansas City. Then they tried to hire Jeff Ulbrich, and the Jets said, no, we're not going to let you take our defensive coordinator. What are you talking about? Then they tried to hire Bill Belichick, and he said, no, I'm not going to be I'm Bill Belichick. So they got their fourth choice, and then brought in Brandon Staley just in case. It's working great.
Yeah. So, I mean, you have to think that the Kansas Cities are better coached on each side of the ball. I'm sorry. I don't mean to like kick everybody in the head, but and I say they have a 10% chance to win. They could win. I just don't see it, Iggy. I don't see it. Later, we'll discuss the implications of a win and a loss in this game. But Iggy, I'm giving them a 10% chance. What kind of percentage are you giving them?
14. I had to run the numbers in my head real quick. I got 14.3, but I rounded down. James Schaefer's been a member for 22 months. Thank you, James. Zach Rivera says, win or lose, need to see Kyle fix red zone issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's had a week and a half. Joshua Wyatt says rest advantage is a big deal against the Niners, who have an old injured core. They may struggle against the Cowboys off a bye as well. Right. The Chiefs are coming off a bye. The Cowboys next week are coming off a bye. Rest advantage for the other teams.
Iggy, I got to tell you, the Cowboys really suck.
They suck.
They suck. Could I just, for a moment on the Cowboys? Overrated team, overrated quarterback, overrated coach. Who will be fired at the end of this season? They suck. If the 49ers can't be the Cowboys, oh my God. Yes.
And what's funny is like everyone would agree that they sucked if they were any other team, any other franchise. But because they're Dallas, people are like, oh, they're intriguing. No.
Hell, they suck.
Front row says, what would you say about Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy if they win by 10 or more? Seems like you'd say they beat the Chiefs with no weapons. Well, we'll talk about what a win would mean next, front row. Braden Deschamps says, does your dad know a 49ers backup quarterback named Guy Benjamin in the 80s? Found out he is my wife's uncle and was a quarterback for my favorite team, which is cool.
I know Guy Benjamin very well. I haven't seen him in a long time, but we used to be friends. We're not friends. We just haven't seen each other. He and I both went to Stanford, and we know each other quite well.
Sheila Moncayo says, has just become a member, and she says, yay, finally caught a live show with Lowell. Thank you, Sheila.
Thank you, Sheila.
Fish and Chip says, what do we expect? It's a human surfboard at defensive coordinator. Is he stoked? Is he psyched? Dad, what would a 49ers win over the Chiefs mean for San Francisco?
Oh, Iggy, it would be glorious for San Francisco. Let's be real clear on this. If they beat the Chiefs, no matter how they win, if they beat the Chiefs, it changes everything. They beat the Super Bowl champs who beat them in the Super Bowl. If they beat the Chiefs, they go to 4-3, and they are instantly one of the best teams in the league and a contender for the Super Bowl. Their whole season changes, no matter what. This is a big deal. If they can win this game, I will come on the show next week and say, boy, I'm really impressed. They did things I didn't believe they could do. They're a much better team than I think they are. They are now a contender to be the best team in the NFC, and they are contender for the Super Bowl. Absolutely. I'm unabashed about that. And what I want to say is they have an opportunity to do that.
Mhm.
Athletes, good athletes, professional athletes don't say, "Oh my God, we're only 3-3, and now we have to play Kansas City. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen." Good athletes, George Kittle, Brock Purdy, Trent Williams are saying, "This is our shot. We're going to kick their ass. We're going to show us. We're going to show us how good we are. We're going to show the fan base how good we are. What we want this game, because we're going to win this game." That's what great professional athletes feel. That's what Steve Young would have felt. Joe Montana, not, "Oh my God, we don't need them at this time of the year. We want them. We're going to beat them." So they win this game. Iggy, I'm changing my tune entirely.
Yeah, like they can't really look at themselves with that much confidence yet because they haven't beaten anyone. But if they beat the
No.
Chiefs, they've beaten an undefeated team. No one's beaten them yet. The Ravens lost to them. The 49ers can feel like they're back. And they've done something they've never done. Like it would be a huge monkey off their back, to use a cliche. They've never beaten Patrick Mahomes. Kyle Shanahan's never beaten Andy Reid since he's been here with the Niners. So it'd be a huge accomplishment for them.
It would be fantastic for them. And the narrative of this season is expectations unfulfilled, something wrong. It would flip immediately. It would be a team that found itself, a team with great stars that is coming through. Instant favorite in the NFC, a favorite.
Yeah, and it's like they've found a way to beat the team they couldn't beat, and they found a way without McCaffrey. Which, I mean, they've been struggling to be a serious team without McCaffrey, and to actually find a way to beat a team that doesn't lose. The Chiefs have won, I want to say, 11 or 12 games in a row, going back to last year. That would be huge. Again, we're talking about a team that just lost to Arizona 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago.
Yeah, and lost to the Rams. And the only legit team that they faced was Minnesota. And Minnesota beat them. Minnesota handled them. Yeah. If they can beat the Chiefs, I would say in a rematch with Minnesota, the Niners could beat them.
Sure.
Because I don't believe in Minnesota's quarterback. He's going to come down to earth.
Mm-hmm.
So if they can beat the Chiefs, I'm saying they're at least as good as Minnesota.
Right.
That's how much this game, in the way I envision things, that's how important this game is to me. I feel this game is a season definer.
Yeah, and if they were to find a way to beat the Chiefs, it would seem like to come out of left field because, again, even if that you feel like they should have beaten the Chiefs, that game was the Cardinals. That game was a struggle, and it shouldn't have been because look at the Cardinals have done before and after facing the Niners. They got blown out by the Commanders, and they got blown out by the Packers. And those teams are good, but we're not talking about them as being actual Super Bowl contenders yet. And yet they just embarrassed the Cardinals. And the Niners got embarrassed by the Cardinals. So if they could turn around 2 weeks later and beat the Chiefs, who had a bye week to prepare for them, like, who the hell are these guys? Their season just started.
Yes, their season just started. Yes, absolutely. So this game for the Niners is the opportunity they need and want.
Yes.
They want this game now.
Yeah. And it's like if they beat the Chiefs, maybe they can go on a run with or without McCaffrey. And the way I look at it is the Niners are almost surely going to win the division one way or another. The question is, will they be the 4 seed or will they be the 2 seed or maybe the 1 seed? I guess we'll figure that out if they with the outcome of this game. Dad, what would a loss mean for the 49ers?
Okay. This is a little more complicated. If they lose, then they're 3-4 with a lot of tough games coming up, Iggy.
Dallas not being one of them.
No, Dallas sucks. But I mean, Iggy, don't they have Buffalo this season? And they
have Green Bay, Tampa.
Green Bay and the Commanders and Tampa. They're going to lose. I mean, if they lose to Kansas City, it means they're the kind of team that loses to good teams. Minnesota, Kansas City, they'll lose some of those.
Not the Commanders, but they are playing Chicago and Detroit.
Oh, they're going to, again, a team that loses this coming Sunday is going to lose some of those games, maybe the bulk of those games.
Yeah. Right.
I'm saying the Niners have a chance to redefine themselves on Sunday. If they beat the Chiefs, I'm saying they can win a lot of those games. If they don't beat the Chiefs, I'm saying they won't win a lot of those games. So, what does it mean? They would be 3-4 and clearly not out of it. It's early in the season still, although we're almost getting to the halfway point. Mathematically, they'd be alive. Plus, they're probably going to win their division, so they're probably going to make it to the postseason. But a team that loses this game would get eliminated in the first round. That's what I think. They would define themselves as a team that is not quite good enough. Not quite good enough if they lose this game. So, again, I think it's a very important game for them because it means they can beat crummy teams, they can get beat by crummy teams, and they can't beat good teams. See you later.
Yeah. I mean, because look, the Chiefs have pedigree, they're champions, but this is the worst version of the Chiefs that the 49ers have faced. They don't have Tyreek Hill, they don't have Rashee Rice, they don't have Isaiah Pacheco, they're banged up, and they're not dominating either. Like they beat the Ravens by 7 week 1, they beat the Bengals by 1 week 2, they beat the Falcons by 5, they beat the Chargers by 7. They're not blowing teams out. And if the 49ers can't find a way to beat this team, I'm starting to feel like this version of the 49ers just isn't good, isn't good enough. And you're looking at when they have to go to Green Bay or Buffalo or Tampa, like those are games they could lose as well.
Yeah.
Chicago
is surprisingly good. And Iggy, the Niners do go to Green Bay?
Yeah. And then they go to Buffalo the week after.
Oy.
Which feels like a scheduled loss because they're not going to stay out in the Midwest between.
Okay. A team that can't beat Kansas City would have a lot of trouble beating Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like you lose to Kansas City. What are you going to make a trade? Is Christian McCaffrey going to save you again? Like what's going to turn this season around? When are you going to start playing like an elite team? When is that going to happen?
Well, what I'm saying is if they can't rise up and beat Kansas City, they're not an elite team. They're not. It means they would have lost to Kansas City and Minnesota, 2 really good teams. What other really good team are they going to beat? They couldn't even beat the Cardinals.
They couldn't even beat the Cardinals.
Yeah. They couldn't even beat the Rams. I mean, beat the Rams. When we say Dallas sucks, the Rams suck more than Dallas. The Rams really suck, Iggy.
The Rams really, really, really suck. Only one team's beaten them was the Niners. Only one team they've beaten is the Niners.
Yeah. I mean, do you understand how embarrassing that is? Say they got beat by the Cardinals and the Rams. I mean, this is it. It's like wearing, the scarlet letter of L, loser, for those games. That's very bad to have lost. How do you rationalize those losses? Oh, the officiating. What do you say?
Yeah. If they lose, you're still like, what is going to be the catalyst that turns this season around?
Right.
And if they win, it would be very impressive. It'd be interesting to see how they did it. But it also wouldn't be a guarantee that everything's fine. It could be an indicator that they got it together for 1 week. Like they'd have to keep it going after this. It would be very interesting to see if they won this game, like how they would conduct themselves moving forward. Be very interesting.
Iggy, here's what I say, and I'm maybe a little more positive on this. If they win this game, they're going to keep the momentum going forward. I'm saying this, they can find themselves in this game. And if they do, I'm going to be very positive about them.
Of course, I'll be too. I can't forget the fact that last year this played out with the Eagles. The Eagles were 8-1. They went to Kansas City off a bye week. They beat them 21-17. And then they went 2-6 the rest of the way. They just fell apart. So it's a huge game, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything if they win or lose. It's one game.
That's right. You know what? You're making a very good point. A loss doesn't guarantee anything, and a win doesn't guarantee anything, but it sure shows important trends.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that word.
Abso-freaking-lutely. Okay. It's Quan says, yo, Grant, you're not allowed at practice anymore. No, I am allowed to practice. I was at practice yesterday. They have the day off, and then they're back tomorrow. Sasha Armstrong says, everyone says Kyle is a genius. Perhaps he is an idiot savant. Love your show. Love your dad. No punctuation, just for the English majors. Sasha.
Thank you, Sasha.
Thank you very much. Let's do some sleeper picks for the sleepers out there, Dad.
Okay.
But the problem with the sleeper picks this week is they don't have any Niners. So we're going to have to go Chiefs instead. Patrick Mahomes, 253 and a half passing yards against the 49ers. What do you think? 253 and a half. It's a lot.
Yes.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah, he's great.
And
now
also,
we can't do Travis Kelce. That's too bad.
Also, who's hurt in the secondary for the Niners? Hufanga, is he going to play?
No, and we don't know about Malik Mustafa either.
Is Ward healthy?
I don't know about that.
See, they have I love that secondary, Iggy. And I don't know the guys, but I like the guys.
Me too.
I mean, I kind of like them. I don't know them, but they're really hurt. So I think Mahomes, he'll do well against them.
Okay, Jared Goff against the Vikings. Big game. 254 and a half passing yards for Jared Goff.
No.
It's a good defense. No. I agree. Justin Jefferson, 84 and a half receiving yards against the Lions, excuse me. 84 and a half.
How many?
84
and a half. He could have that in one play.
He could. He absolutely could. Let's do Green Bay and Houston. Last game. This is a good one. Jordan Love. Where you at? 259 and a half passing yards for Jordan Love.
Okay. Let me say this. I love Jordan Love. Iggy, I believe he's a potential superstar.
Yeah.
He is really good.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, I think Houston has a good defense.
Okay.
So I'm saying no.
D'Amico is going to hold him down. Okay, Stroud, 249 and a half passing yards for Stroud.
Against Green Bay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say yes. He's another one. Iggy, he is wonderful. Stroud is wonderful.
These two, I can't wait to watch this game. There's so many good young quarterbacks in the league this now, including Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy is wonderful. I can't say these guys are better than he is, but I can say he's better than them. They're a pleasure to watch.
And one thing I appreciate. Go ahead.
I want to emphasize, Brock Purdy is a pleasure to watch. I love what he does. I do.
I agree. Jordan Love is interesting to me because he was such a big project and he's in such a stable organization. It's interesting to watch a really good organization that knows what it's doing with quarterbacks develop a talented player. You can see it. It's very interesting.
As opposed to one we know very well.
Yeah, as opposed to most teams. Most teams have no freaking clue how to develop a quarterback.
Yeah.
Green Bay's been doing it. Those are the picks. Wow.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
All right. I'm making picks, locking it in. And what I want to say is if you download the Sleeper app and use promo code Cohn, you get entered to win 2 tickets to the Niners-Cowboys game, which is next week. I'm giving these tickets away in a few days. So make sure if you want them, you download the app, you use promo code Cohn. Also giving away a signed Ricky Pearsall jersey. He's coming back. He's important. He was a first-round pick. So download the app, use promo code Cohn, COHN. Dad, let's go back real quick before we move forward. The Niners were 2-3. They were coming off an embarrassing loss to Arizona. They play 4 days later. They go to Seattle. They beat Geno Smith and Mike McDonald and DK Metcalf. What did this win mean? Now they're 3-3.
This win meant Jack fill in the blank.
Jack fill in the blanks.
Jack fill in the blank. Iggy, have the Seahawks now lost 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're about at the level of Dallas. They suck.
They suck.
They absolutely suck. Their defense, which we thought would be good, is overrated. Their coach, who we thought would be good, looks a little confused. Mm-hmm. And their quarterback, look, I'm sorry, Geno Smith. I bet you're a very nice man and you try so hard. You just ain't got it. You ain't got it.
You ain't got it.
He ain't got it. He just not good at. He's not good enough. And if this team thinks about it And when they evaluate what they need for the future, they got to get a new quarterback or develop a young quarterback. Now they're all in with him. They pay him a lot of money, right?
Yes.
What a
Yes.
mistake. What a mistake. What a mistake. It's
Let
an
me look quick and see how.
institutional mistake.
I want to see how long he's signed for. Just real quick. He's signed through next year. That's great. That's good news for the 49ers.
He's horrible. He can sometimes make very nice throws, and he has a strong arm. But when you need a precision throw from him, you can't depend on it. You might get it, but also you won't get it. He's not nearly at the level of Brock Purdy.
No.
You need a precision throw from Brock, you're going to get it.
There's something about confidence with a quarterback, and I feel like the best quarterbacks exude confidence kind of all the time, even when they're losing. And Geno exudes confidence none of the time.
It's true, and I agree with you. And when he screws up, there are certain quarterbacks I love to see their facial expressions. Him and Aaron Rodgers. Can we go over those for a minute?
Yeah.
Geno, when he screws up, he looks up at God. To me, he looks at the sky like, God, you let me down. He looks
like he's
morally,
Job.
He's Job. He looks morally aggrieved at the injustice of the universe.
How come me? Why me again, God? Why again? Why me again? Yeah.
Right. And I find it heartbreaking. I bet he's a very nice man. I find it heartbreaking that he feels like just that the universe is negative toward him.
Mm-hmm.
And I have tremendous empathy for him. Aaron Rodgers, he doesn't do that. When a pass is incomplete that he thinks should be complete, he gives you the look like my wide receiver or tight end just let me down.
Yeah. And if he does it again, I will get him released.
Yeah. He's not
I will ship his ass to Siberia.
Right.
Sorry.
He's not aggrieved at God. He's not Job at the universe. It's that people are not at his level.
He thinks he is God.
You got it. He's God.
He's God.
He's right. You got it. He's God, and these mortals let him down. Again, he gives a look. You want to put a pie in his face, Iggy. You want to run out on the field and put a pie in his face. I mean, not literally, it's metaphorical, but he's so obnoxious. He is so unlikable.
And it's so predictable how he took over that organization. First, I mean, he said he didn't get Robert Saleh fired, whatever. The head coach gets fired real quick. And then now they trade for Devontae Adams. So what? He's in control of who the head coach is, and he's making the moves as the GM. It's his team. And they're 2-4. And I love to see what their record's going to end up, even with Devontae Adams. Like, are you guys going to be over 500? I'd love to see it. I think most people are rooting against the Aaron Rodgers project, which is the Jets.
It's hard to root for them.
He's trying to be Tom Brady so bad. Tom Brady left the Patriots after 1 billion years, went to Tampa, built the whole thing. He was the pretty much the head coach and general manager of that team, brought Rob Gronkowski there, brought Antonio Brown there. It worked. He's a great leader. They won a Super Bowl. Now let's see Aaron Rodgers try to do the same thing. He's not Tom Brady.
Right, because Aaron Rodgers is a sour pickle, and Tom Brady is a professional.
Aaron Rodgers is one of the worst teammates of all time. Tom Brady's one of the best teammates of all time. I never played with him, but it seems like a lot of former teammates really freaking respect him. Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski, love him.
Yeah.
Jimmy Garoppolo, I don't know.
Jimmy Garoppolo, is he still in the league?
Yeah, he's backing up Stafford.
Yeah, is that being in the league?
Barely. Anthony says KC 42-9 if Niners kicker okay. Dallas 31-13 over the Niners. Anthony. Not feeling great about the Niners' chances against Dallas or Kansas City. Fish and Chip says Aaron Rodgers, everyone's favorite. The God. There you go.
Oh,
okay, Dad.
I like it.
You like that? Okay, yeah, so here's the question of the day. Is Kyle Shanahan doing a good job? The 49ers are 3-3, and they're in first place in their division. You could argue that those games didn't matter, and they're in a great spot right now, and they're poised to go great. What do you think?
Okay. We can only speak about 6 games. We don't know about the other games. about the next 11. We can only talk about what he's done. So, as in my wife's old Italian family, they would say, used to say, up to so far. We could only say how they're doing up to so far.
Up to so far.
Up to so far. So it's true that first place of maybe the worst division in football, or one of the worst, and they have a 3-3 record, which is the essence of mediocrity. It's not a winning record. It's not a losing record. They have lost to some really bad teams. Don't have to go over that. They have beaten some really bad teams. They have proven nothing. They have proven nothing. So is Kyle doing a good job? How's his offense doing, Iggy?
It's awful in the red zone.
Awful in the red zone. The defense, I did some stats. In terms of points allowed per game, they're about 12th. I think I have this right. And Kansas City is 6th points allowed per game. So they're not startling. And they've given it up twice at the end of games. That's very bad. That they had 10-point leads in the fourth quarter in 2 games against horrible teams and gave it up, right, Iggy?
Yes.
Well, that's very bad. Now you say, well, Kyle doesn't handle the defense. Yes, he does. He's the head coach. He's the head coach. He's responsible for everything. So he's gotten them a mediocre record, losses to horrible teams, has not beaten a good team, and has not particularly looked good in beating bad teams. I feel there is something, again, I can't put my finger on it. I feel there's something wrong in that locker room. I do. I feel there's something wrong in that locker room, that perhaps they're losing faith in him. And believe me, the players losing faith in him, I can understand it. Or there's 2 tiers of teammates. One, the select few that he likes, and the others who think, what about me? And my guess is these wonderful defensive backs. Again, Iggy, I'm not there, but I know how things work. These wonderful defensive backs, they're not the select few. They may be pissed. I don't know what it. Yeah.
I think when you say there's 2 teams, I feel like the teams are whether you're in or whether you're out. And everyone knows that Brock Purdy's going to get this huge extension next year, and it's going to push a lot of people out. And I think you saw a lot of veterans fight for guaranteed money over the next few years to ensure that they were in, whether they got injured or not this year. And now you got guys like Talanoa Hufanga, Trevarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, Aaron Banks, a lot of players who are free agents next year who haven't gotten extended, and they're wondering, am I here next year? It's probably looking like I'm not. And if this team is going down, then I need to make sure that I'm healthy next year, because I'm going to be a free agent and I'm not going to be signing here. So all of a sudden you have like a lot of players who could be making like human nature business decisions. I'm out and I know it. So I just can't sell out for this team the way that I would have in the past. That's where they're at. Now, if they go on a run, maybe all the players will buy in, but if they're sitting at 3-4, 3-5, that's when you can see a lot of veterans just kind of check out
and protect themselves, because after all, it's a business. And we're not accusing them of doing it, but if they do it, it's understandable.
That's the business. That's the business.
And that's how football players think. Yep. They don't anymore think like Trent Williams. He doesn't think I'm a 49er. He thinks I'm a free agent who plays for the 49ers.
Right.
I'm an independent contractor.
And that's why this game against the Chiefs is so important, because it could rally the whole team together. It's not one team right now. It's a couple of teams.
That's how I feel. I feel that it's divided against itself. And I think I want to come back to that. That is Kyle.
Right.
Because he had to fight to make this one team. I don't know that he was successful or even tried.
Well, he isn't successful yet. If they beat the Chiefs, clearly they're one team. But right now, they're not one team. And like, these are basic jobs for a head coach. I don't want to hear about your scheme. And he's responsible for the red zone. He has to figure that out. But like, the culture of the team, having it be one team, being able to close out games when you have a double-digit lead, these are areas where he's failing. And like, great coaches don't fail in these basic areas.
So, Iggy, do you think what grade would you give Kyle for the first 6 games?
I would give him a D, because 3-3 is a C, but like this isn't a 3-3 team. You're underperforming, and this was the weakest, easiest part of the schedule. It only gets more difficult. Like when the schedule came out, if I had told people, "Hey, look, they're going to go 3-3 here," people would be like, "What are you talking about? There's no way." But it happened. A D.
Wow. I might give him a C.
Okay.
Maybe I was always a high grader when I used to grade people. Maybe I'd give him a C for the very same reasons. He's 3-3. They're not out of it. They have a shot against Kansas City, but they've really sucked in a lot of areas. I'd give it a C. I think what we're both saying is we're dissatisfied with his performance.
Yeah, it's not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. And look, I want to say a couple of other things because we're talking about him now, Iggy. If he doesn't make the playoffs, now this is a stretch. No, he's going to make the playoffs because he's going to win the division. Okay. But Iggy, if he is a low seed, he would have to travel in the first round. If he's and again,
no. If they win the division, their first game's at home.
Okay. Iggy, if they win the division, but they have like 9-8, something like that, they're going to lose in the first round.
Right, because they'd have to play Detroit or Minnesota or some team really good.
So, again, if Lowell were running the team, if they get in and they lose in the first round, you have to have a change of leadership. You have to have a new general manager and a new head coach. I'm sorry. They had their shot. They almost made it. I love when people say, you undervalue Kyle. He got to the NFC Championship. He got to 2 Super Bowls. You don't win a goddamn Super Bowl. And if he gets eliminated in the first round, Jed has to come out of his coma and fire him and fire John Lynch.
Yes, that's the business. Sorry, they've gotten much more rope than any other people in their position would have gotten.
That's what I think.
Yeah, I agree. Dad, real quick, bonus news: the Bills have traded for Amari Cooper.
I like Amari Cooper.
Me too. What a nice addition for Josh Allen. They've been winning without a dominant wide receiver. Now they have someone who can throw the ball downfield to.
Yeah, I want to say something else about that game last night. It was a close game. The Jets. I was talking to Iggy before we went on. That Hail Mary pass at the end of the first half, it was a lucky play. I mean, you can't say they planned it. It was a lucky play. That game wasn't that close. Buffalo was much better. Buffalo's a hell of a team. The Niners have to play Buffalo.
Yeah. Iggy, and the way I look at it is Buffalo, Kansas City, Baltimore, Houston, those 4 teams in the AFC seem more serious than any team in the NFC.
They have to play Buffalo, Kansas City. Who else they got to play?
In the Buffalo, AFC? Kansas City, Detroit, Tampa Bay, Green Bay.
Yeah. Iggy, if they lose especially badly to Kansas City, all of those games you just mentioned are potential losses.
Yeah. Yeah. Helperman 123 says Tom Brady is diplomatic while Rodgers is a diva. Is Tom Brady diplomatic?
Boy.
Maybe.
He's positive.
Yeah.
By the way, let's talk about him for a moment as an announcer, because I was skeptical. I thought they just hired him for the name. Boy, is he good. I love listening to him, Iggy. He's able to communicate to a general audience. He doesn't use the A gap, the B gap, the bubble screen, all of this crap I hate to hear. He can relate to an audience. He praises people. He does. He's enthusiastic. He seems, again, I don't know what he's like. I've never met him. He comes across on television as a nice guy. He also says, when I was playing, I would have done this. I don't agree with what they're doing here. I don't understand what they're doing here. He sees the game from the point of view of the quarterback, which is how you should see it, just like Kruko sees the game from the point of view of the pitcher. So I feel that he's doing a beautiful job. I just wish he wouldn't keep saying San Fran. He's from San Mateo. It's San Francisco. So I don't get it. I don't get why he says San Fran.
Yeah, and if you want to go by, if you want to shorten it, Frisco is allowed. San Fran is not.
Frisco's allowed?
Frisco's allowed. We can say you're allowed to say Frisco. Frisco's fun to say. Everyone likes it, but you got to know San Fran is off limits. Are you kidding?
Off limits, off limits. But I don't want. It's nitpicking. I think he's a hell of a good announcer. I do.
And he's announcing the game this weekend against Niners Chiefs.
God love you.
How about that? Herbie Holland says, guys, as a longtime fan since 1972, love Lowell, by the way. I'm not confident in this team, and they will not beat KC, and the rest of the season is in doubt.
I think that's a totally fair statement.
Herbie Hollins has said this when he was hired. Fire Shanahan now.
Well, he'll get till the end of the season, and look, he might win the Super Bowl, and he could, if they win the Super Bowl, will they have a parade down Van Ness?
Yeah, he'll win the Super Bowl. They'll
Market
have a
Street?
parade. He'll bring about world peace. He could do it all this year.
But I'm saying, will they have the parade in San Francisco or Santa Clara?
No. Oh, God. If they do it in San Francisco, they should boycott that. It has to be Santa Clara, and they got to go from the soccer fields to Great America. No, excuse me, from In-N-Out Burger to Chick-fil-A.
To all the memorable sites in Santa Clara?
Yeah, from Top Golf to Roots Chris. Fleming's.
Fleming's.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Santa Clara. But it's not really a city. Like, it's a place where people work.
But
I guess some people live there. The Niners.
It has a wonderful university.
It does.
Really wonderful university. Brent Jones went there. It's a beautiful university. Yeah. In my face. Rav the Sav says, my cousin works at a casino in the South Bay, and he said Ambry has been in there losing $10K a night for 3 weeks straight. Well, that's just libelous. I hope that's not true. Ambry. Right. We don't endorse any of that statement.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just a comment from a person who who doesn't have a face. So Rav the Sav, thank you for that. Dad, once again, we topped it. This was the best show of all time.
Right. It was the best show of all time. I love you, son.
I love you too. I'll talk to you soon. See you guys.
Okay.